My therapist gave up on me. This video might completely change the way you look at therapy because I finally realized after years of being in and out of therapist offices that therapy isn't the magic fix that everyone seems to think it is. Oh, you just need to go to therapy, people always say. You just got to find the right therapist, go to therapy or take antidepressants, do whatever. No, it doesn't work for everyone. And I just came to just some real disturbing realizations. Like, I'm just so disturbed by the world and just afraid of the world after my traumatic experience. The world is such a scary place, and a bad place full of bad people and bad things that happen. And I realized that therapy is just kind of like a joke. Like, you go into therapy because you want to try to get better, but what's the point of getting better if nothing matters, because this world is such an awful place to be and you're just going to die in the end? And your therapist is just a person too who's also just flailing about in this crazy, chaotic world. And basically, I think I've realized, it's hard to put into words, I think I've realized what therapy essentially is basically just an attempt to fake normal. Someone who's convinced themselves that they've made everything okay, perhaps, is trying to help you convince yourself that you have it all together, when really neither of you have it all together, and we're all just flailing about on this planet, flying through the universe, this chaotic universe, and it's just... I don't know. It's a joke. There's no point. I'm at a point now where I don't even really care. Even if therapy would work for me, which I don't really think it will. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't totally unbeneficial. It helped me feel better a little bit, but I'm at a point now where I've deconstructed my belief system so much. I've become so disillusioned with life, so uninterested in life. I'm just not even interested in getting better. I'm just kind of okay with my nice little status quo. I sleep in every day. I make my YouTube videos I have another channel where I'm monetized. I'm making about minimum wage, I'm happy with that because I live with my parents. I don't need a lot of money. Just going to make minimum wage on YouTube for as long as I can and stash the money. So I sleep in every day. I make my little YouTube videos, 1 or 2 a day. And then I just relax and take long showers and find little things to do around town to kill time and watch a lot of TV and YouTube videos. And that's my life these days. And part of me deep down has this idea that maybe if I get it together, maybe if I overcome this, maybe that, I can pull myself out of this echo chamber, this nihilistic hell that I'm in. And maybe the world has so much more to offer me, and maybe I have so much more to offer to the world, but I don't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't. And I'm tired. I'm too young to be this tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. So, I guess moral of the story, I mean, therapy might help for certain things. I think therapy can be beneficial when you're trying to treat a mental illness. And I have been in therapy for that before, and it was helpful. But most recently, and really what I'm talking about in this video is therapy, not so much as a treatment for mental illness, but as a way to try to get your shit together, get your life together. Try to manifest your best life through therapy and talking about your feelings, and just, it's a joke. It won't work. You can kid yourself into thinking that it's working, But ultimately, therapy is just you and a stranger in a room pretending that life matters when it doesn't. And there's no objective meaning to this life. And you're just gonna die someday. And I warned you at the beginning of this video, like, I warn you, you watch too many of my videos on this channel, you might find yourself just sucked into this black hole of nihilism like I've been. I don't think there's any way out once you really have found yourself here. When you've deconstructed reality and life to this point, I don't think there's any way out. I think a black hole is a really good analogy because once something goes in a black hole, it will never come out. It's just not possible. And I'm convinced that nihilism is the only real, true philosophy that's actually concrete and is like the truth, you know? Nothing matters, really. And that is true. There is no objective meaning to life. And how can you come back from that? When you've really realized that that's what life really is, when you see the world for what it really is, when you see life for what it really is, when you see yourself for what you really are, just an animal on a planet made up of stardust, and you're going to die someday. Maybe there's an afterlife, maybe there's not. It doesn't really matter this life, because you're still going to die. How can you ever come back from that? I don't think I ever could come back from this. I don't know how I could come back from this. So, at this point, my goal is to just try to increase my dose of Prozac. I'm going to go see my psychiatric nurse practitioner in about a week. Raise that dose to just numb myself as much as I can, just to make this little existence, my stupid little excuse of a life, just a little more comfortable. Because there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little part of me buried deep down inside. It's almost dead. It's not quite 100% dead yet, but it's almost dead. That still wants life to matter, that still clings on to this fantasy that maybe I can make something of my life, maybe I can turn my life around, maybe it's not all hopeless for me. But I know that part is just delusional. I know it's not a very realistic part of me. And so I just need to numb that part and just quash it and just kill that part of me, that little tiny part of me that clings to hope, that clings to meaning. Because I know ultimately that part of me, as ironic as it is, will just cause me more pain and suffering by existing, because its desires for a meaningful life that matters will always go unfulfilled.